You thought that burger was bison? Nah, that burger was ricing. But instead of sedating a family of sick, I'm ricing the system to the point that it's sick. Hey, I'm Joe, and you're watching and joke. I came up with that bit months ago, so we're already a bit behind. Let's get into it quick. And oh, did I mention? It's Arch, by the way. Before we start, I want to get a bit of shameless self-promotion out of the way. Death of Windows 10 and Joe Tuck's products are up on Red Jackets, Redbubble, and TeePublic stores. Go check them out. Now that that's out of the way, let me prefix this rice with, I wasn't planning to make this video yet. I planned for this video before the end of the year, but not now. But a lot happened in the past week and plans changed. So I did most of the rice in this video within a day or two. Probably making this the first part of one of my ever trailing series. Now onto the rice. Actually, a bit of background before that. When I decided to start making the switch to Linux, and before you ask, it's not because of the Swedish boy. I decided to make the switch last year because of Mudahar. But before Arch, I was planning to use Mint, given the advice of Mudahar and the legendary ceiling of entry for Arch. However, I did pick Arch because of PewDiePie. Not only that, but I found out all of these awesome Linux themes, which I now know are rices, were made mostly in Arch Linux, due to its innate customizability. So when I finally saved up enough money for a new 1TB SSD, I installed it and loaded Arch on it. Which, by the way, thank God for Arch install. My base install was Arch Hyprland. I installed my necessities along with Waybar and have been tinkering around for a couple of months now. You can tell because my applet tray is on the left now. Now finally, onto the rice. I decided to start with the border gradient for my windows, which is set in the Hyprland config. I used cssgradient.io to find a gradient I liked. I could have gone with a solid color, but I've come to like the gradient look. I then used a normal color picker for the inactive color. Also, quick side note, because I can hear the crying of Vim users everywhere. I know the way I'm typing isn't the most economical way to use Vim, but I still haven't gotten the hang of it. Either way, back to it. I moved on to changing the Waybar color to match, which only took me a while because I forgot the Waybar had a CSS file as well as a config file. And man, programming in CSS yet again, it's like walking into your backyard and forgetting where the bodies are buried. Because even though I have been doing web programming recently, there was a good 5 to 6 years where I didn't touch CSS. So I'm in and out when it comes to remembering what I can do with CSS. For this, however, I just changed the background color to a red I chose using the color picker. The next part is pretty quick. I just added the background you all saw me make in my previous Scenic Wallpaper series. I used Hyperpaper for this, and the config file is pretty simple. Preload the image and link to monitor. Now with the majority of the aesthetic changes out of the way, let's get a little more technical. I'd be remiss if I ended the video without adding a workspace selector to my Waybar and customizing my Rofi because, you know, it's basic.
You're basic.
The workspaces were easy. I just had to change the default sway objects to Hyprland objects. Maybe not necessary. And then change the keywords to Hyprland keywords. And boom, it's done. Rofi was a bit more complicated. First, I needed to figure out what all I needed to change, then how to change it. Luckily, there was a video by Eric Murphy which gave me a starting point. Styling Rofi is basically just more CSS. At least, that's what it seems like. TLDR, instead of editing the general Rofi config like the video said, I decided to add my own theme file to the Rofi themes folder. Then I spent hours editing the IDs till I found it acceptable, named the theme Dojo, signed my name on it, and I was done. There's still a lot more to do, like persistent workspaces, animated wallpaper, customizing the Dolphin file manager, etc. But this is what I have now. Remember, check out the new programming apparel and accoutrement, aka the death of Windows 10 and Joe Tux. Links in the description below. You can check out the Scenic Wallpaper playlist here, or you can check out last month's Halloween special, which formed the basis for the death of Windows 10 design, over here. Or if you want to see the next steps in my Linux RICING, hit that notification bell and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and joke out!